Hi there, I'm Alex D. I wanted to record one of those Let's Mod L4D2 videos initially, but I wasn't sure this is gonna work anyway. Yeah, it's a magazine-fed shotgun. It replaces the regular automatic shotgun, which in many cases in the workshop and elsewhere is reloaded shell by shell, even if it's just you know, the magazine reload animation being cut into several parts. Well, what I did is make it reload the whole magazine in one animation. Notice the ammunition count. It kinda gradually refills due to how the engine works, I guess. This is hard-coded and there is practically no way to fix that. Unless you want these to be compiled for some sort of automatic or maybe semi-automatic rifle or whatever. Since this replaces the regular shotgun, it reloads one by one. It actually can be reload cancelled halfway through the reload. As you can see, it stopped when I started firing, so you might as well be stuck with a single shell being reloaded every time if you do that kind of stuff. My mouse wheel is crap, so yeah, this is what happens. So you have to wait pretty much the entire animation to finish. I made it so that it starts reloading as soon as the charging handle is released. Anyway, this is how it works offline on your own host. It is actually a separate sequence. Yeah, let's exit to the main menu and play something online. Create a new lobby, generate a room. Yes, it has a vanilla shotgun. Official server. Start the game. Let's look for official server, which will show us the case of playing online and actually seeing a completely different set of animations. They may be a different set of animations, but yeah, what I have is you know, the regular animation just being divided into parts, like my previous Modern Warfare 2 AA-12 shotgun had this kind of animation hackery.
Weapons over here!
Rifle.
Here it is.
Oh, I'm grabbing this shotgun.
So, when playing online, you play by online rules. As I often say, you can't join a football game with a basketball and fully intend to throw a basketball into baskets and win the game. So yeah, you play by the host's rules. In this case, this is an official server with default rules, default scripts, and so on and so forth. So yeah, you'll have default animations as well. So this works like normal. But then you reload and yeah, it does the usual stuff.
I'm tired of waiting around here. Come on, let's go.
Shut up, Francis. Anyway, yeah, this
Check this out.
it's a bit glitchy. It's not perfect. I honestly have no idea
Look over here.
what really went wrong in this case, but yeah, maybe it has something to do with the activities that I have disabled for this one. So yeah, this is how it's gonna look online. Unfortunately, yeah. Well, this is not purely for offline play. This is mostly intended for hosting the games. And when you are hosting with such a weapon, you should persuade your friends into using the same mod just to have this unique magazine reload and animation, because they won't have that. It's an extra animation added at the very end of the list. I'll show you what it does, how it's done, how I did this. Yeah, it's less of a Let's Mod L4D2 video and more like look what I've done video kind of stuff. Anyway, yeah, let's stop hopping around. We've seen everything. Also, yeah, notice that I have finally upgraded to Windows 10, and I guess you might as well consider this my, I don't know, 100 subscriber special or whatever. Hooray! Yeah. Anyway, now for the boring part. Maybe it's a boring part, maybe it's important part. However you see this, if you want to create something similar, this might be interesting. Anyway, so what's happening here is pretty much the usual stuff, the animations, the sequences, except notice how I have commented out activities. I might as well have removed them outright, but keeping them here intact, just these two slashes, yeah, they make this line into what pretty much is a comment. It's not read by the program when this thing is compiled. It's for you and your, I don't know, programmer, coder friends or whatever. Maybe you like / I have no idea what this thing does, so yeah, well, the commands work like this. Everything before those is compiled, and everything after is not. It's strictly for you to see and read and yeah, have the idea what's happening, because you know, like this is an idle animation or whatever. I have no idea what this thing does or something like that. Anyway, here, for example, yeah, different frames per second, or different FPS, different speeds for the animations. Actually, for fuck's sake, Valve, the SPAS 12 and the Benelli M4, the combat shotgun and the tactical shotgun, they reload with different speeds. Actually, the SPAS 12 reloads faster, I think. Yeah, it has higher FPS, so it reloads faster. Yeah, less frames and so on and so forth. So yeah, L4D being janky as that, yeah, they unfortunately do not mix really well. Why hexing isn't entirely a viable choice for it sort of works, but online it's a little bit broken, little tiny bit broken, like half a second is a difference between empty reloads of the two shotguns, and this SPAS 12 actually reloads much faster when it's completely empty compared to the Benelli M4. Anyway, enough of that. By disabling the activities, the activity is, you know, you press R. Oh, you press R in game when your gun needs to be reloaded, and it's like, oh, the game is like, I should seek the reload activity for this particular gun, which is act view model reload, and reload layer is what you actually see, unless it's a fucking shotgun. It's a bit weird in this case, because, you know, L4D2, just fucking Valve stuff. Anyway, I haven't shown you that, but if you do a melee attack before you finish reloading, the reload animation actually stops. This is for offline only. Actually, this is for online as well, but there is a looping animation that will actually repeat itself, and this is irrelevant in this case. But anyway, yeah. So by disabling these activities, when you reload your weapon, these are not called. No looping animation. Instead of the looping animation, nothing really plays. So the game is like, you need to play a reload loop. There is no reload. Okay, +1 shell. Play the reload loop animation. No, there is no reload loop animation. Okay, add 1 shell. So it quickly adds 1 by 1 those missing shells into your magazine. This is why it reloads gradually and not instantly, because it's trying to load the loop animation, but there is none. There is an animation, but there is no activity. Yeah. So with those being disabled, and reload and sort of irrelevant, because it's just a finishing part of the animation that can be cancelled at any time with no damage to the actual reload. It's not really necessary here, so it's just anyway, having disabled all those 3 parts, 6 counting the layer subsequences, yeah, and also scrolling all the way down after the item animations, added the extra sequences which actually use the activity acts view model reload. So this is the start of reload animation. Yeah, and during this animation the whole thing plays. So that basically this is what happens when you insert the first shell and then no loop is found, so it quickly refills the entire magazine. And yeah, the animation finishes while it's doing that, because I have cut it a little. 90 frames here, bolt forward, as you can see, bolt forward is frame 90, yeah. So when the bolt goes forward, this VM reload, this animation actually stops, and now it's looking for the loop animations which are nowhere to be found in this case, so it gradually refills the shotgun. While the layer animation, the one you actually see, finishes playing. So yeah, this is basically what's happening. So I've disabled. Why did I not just delete those? It's well, it's because if I delete those entirely, as in, I don't know, comment this entire section out, I will break the order of sequences. Why did I keep those? Yeah, I kept those in case you actually play online. While playing online, the host sets the sequence order, as in, let's see, sequence animation, yeah, sequence look poses, idle row, idle, that's 3, reload is 4, and reload layer is 5, yeah. When the host looks for activity view model reload for these things, it uses sequences number 4 and 5. And when you, the client, reload your shotgun, it tells you to use sequences number 4 and number 5. Yeah, does that make sense? When you are not the host, you play by the other people's rules. So yeah, you actually see the sequences the server tells you to see. Yeah, this is why hexing certain weapons doesn't work, such as the Counter-Strike sniper rifles. I think they have deploy and reload animations flipped, so that instead of deploy animation you see the reload animation, and instead of reload animation you see the deploy animation. This is why it happens, because they have a different order. Yeah, and well, so in order to keep complete online compatibility, you have to retain those pretty much unused animations. You don't see them when you play offline because there is no activity, but you will see them online. So long story short, offline activity matters. So you disable the activities of the original animations. Don't forget to keep those helping hand animation and so on and so forth, and add new sequences to the very end of this list, so that none of those animations break because you ruin the order, which will matter when you play offline. I'm sorry, online, and this will be played offline when your server calls for these activities to show you these sequences. So yeah, offline activities is what matters. Online order. Yeah, and it's not really the case here, but sometimes some mods, including some of mine, they don't have those extra, rather unnecessary if you ask me, animations, but they are neat. Sometimes they are replaced with inspect weapon animations and something cool. Something cooler than hand extending animation anyway. So if we don't have those, we might want to keep stubs, as in non-animations really, but just something that will, like a placeholder, so it's just empty, it's nothing. Yeah, what does it anyway? No animation. So this can be anything. This can use the reload animation, the idle, the run animation. It doesn't matter. If there is this thing, no animation, it just won't play any animation. So you might as well replace reload with this, or in this case helping hand and item hand. So any animation you don't really want, but you want to keep the order of those, we want to keep the order and then add our new animations at the very end of the list, so we want to keep those. But those are stubs, yeah, and they are basically nothing, except you really want to also tell how many frames are there. And well, it's also a nice thing to know that FPS 30 is default. Yeah, by default every animation uses 30 frames per second speed, but we might as well delete that because that's already by default. But we need to keep the number of frames. We don't need those everywhere. Probably I'm not really sure, but at least the beginning animation, as in extend, hand extend, yeah, it really should be 20 frames at 30 frames per second, because after those 20 frames at 30 frames per second, the loop animation begins to play. It doesn't matter how many frames, I think it doesn't matter how many frames are there. It might as well be a very long or a very short animation, a slow one, a fast one, doesn't matter, it just loops. It loops, so it needs to also tell the QC that. Yeah, and the retract animation, I don't think it really matters. It might as well be very long, like the reload and animation of the shotgun, because it's just a finishing part of it, and it's not necessary to make it short or make it long. I think, at least. I might be wrong at this, and probably it's better to keep everything by default, and it's probably better not to mod Left 4 Dead at all. Like, if you are afraid to ruin something with much larger number of frames or sequences or whatever, if you're afraid to touch that kind of stuff. Yeah, so this is something I haven't been doing like ever. I think only 2 of my mods now have those stubs with no animation. It's very neat. It's used extensively in the post TLS melee animations, as in they actually have those helping hand activities, but there is no animation for that, no hand extend to grab an item, but it is there. It is kinda used by the engine now, but it's not showing because it's not animated at this point, at least. Maybe it's gonna be animated at some point in some update or whatever. But there is now an official way to actually have those animations play instead of you know, being hacks with you know, adding extra animations. They are supported by the game now. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, in this mess of a confused unscripted text, I should really probably script my videos, because they are a fucking mess, really. Yeah, this is how it works basically. So to put it into a very short description, everything here is like as usual, but the activities of the original reload animations, all 6 of them, they are disabled, commented out, or outright deleted. And then the whole reload animation with the whole box, it's just added in the very end of the list, and it has the activity VM reload, like the beginning of the reload animation, because yeah, it will always play the whole animation, and then it's gonna call for a looping animation, but there is none, so it will gradually refill the magazine with shells repeatedly when it doesn't find the loop animation. And the reload ending animation doesn't really matter, because it can be anything. It can be a pump action, it can be a bolt pull, it can be a, I don't know, awesome flip of the shotgun, or maybe I don't know, the player character eating a Snickers or whatever. It doesn't matter, really. It might as well be the shotgun jamming, but as soon as you touch the fire button, it just fires, because it can be cancelled at any time. Yeah, so yeah, this is how it works. Maybe it's yeah, I don't think it's too complicated, but what will happen if we don't have the item extend and helping hand extend animations? If we release those, keep note of fire layer, melee layer, helping hand extend layer. If we don't have those animations, and we have reload full and reload full layer, they will actually replace the hand extend animation while playing online. So when you this is helping hand comes first. So when you are close to your fellow survivor online, and you don't have those animations, but you have the reload full animation, when the game calls for the helping hand extend, you will actually see the whole reload animation, because it sits in the same number of animation order. This is why the order matters. So you have to make those stubs by either no animation or maybe doing actual animations. In my case, it's no animation, even though yeah, the crowbar, it just kinda when it decompiled this, it might as well be idle. Yeah, I think it's idle SMD. Maybe it's idle row, maybe it's a idle one, this thing, whatever, doesn't really matter, because it's just one frame of the gun being still. So I don't think that this many animation copies are going to bloat the compiled file too much. So yeah, this is how it works. Hope you learned something new. Maybe, I don't know. So yeah, I guess that's all. See you in the next video, and hopefully it's gonna be less of a horror. Bye.